While we meet today on a virtual platform, gathering from various parts of the country, we would like to recognize that we are all on occupied territory of Indigenous people who have stewarded this land for generations.
Hello, my name is Scott Ramsey, and I'm core faculty for the Sustainability Education doctoral program at Prescott College. Over the past several years, our program has been effectively using the components of connected learning to promote our student-driven focus, particularly with the use of a tool called Community-Based Experiential Learning Projects, or CBELs, that embody connected learning principles. After all, we learn in community, and we have found students in higher education particularly thrive when they're given these types of tools that align their highest interest with the unique needs of their community while integrating their academic pursuits. My colleagues, Dr. Phil Hollowell, Kimberly Greason, and I earned our doctorates from Prescott College, and along the way we were deeply inspired by the work of Dr. Bev Santo, who introduced the notion of CBELs in the classroom and connected learning as a pedagogical approach. We hope to introduce you to the concept of CBELs and share with you some of the many successes we have had along the way, in the hopes that you too find this as a useful tool to inspire meaningful learning.
Hi, my name is Phil Hollowell. I am a professor at Colorado Mountain College, and I teach in the environmental science and sustainability um, departments. I just wanted to take some time today and really explain kind of an educational technique that I use that really has connected learning principles embedded in it. Um, this concept of community-based learning or community-based experiential learning, CBELs, I employ in all of my classes, and really the concept is that students would start to look beyond their the boundaries of their classroom. So not just looking to their professor, not just looking maybe to their textbook, but again, looking broader and starting to build connections. I really see this as the tool that teaches students how to build those connections. And so, what I ask my students to do is really one just working on that interest focused learning. Find a topic that they're interested in. And again, I teach in environmental science. Find a topic that they're interested in, dig into their community and find a place to learn in that space. Okay. And so I completely open it up. Students are able to attend film festivals. They're able to volunteer for organizations. They're able to schedule meetings to sit down and maybe interview an individual that is of interest to them. I'm completely wide open, and not just who they connect with, but also what the topic might be within the bounds of our classroom. And I really find this is kind of this first step to getting them prepared for a more robust connected learning project that encompasses all of those connected learning principles. So this community-based experiential learning where they're leaving the classroom or kind of not just reliant on the professor and the textbook, but really kind of looking for resources within their community to be able to learn.
New at 6, a student at Colorado Mountain College wants what she's learning in the classroom to have a big positive impact in her community. She wants to get Glenwood Springs to ban those plastic shopping bags. Matt Kroschel shows us how this student is coming together to start a movement to help Colorado's environment.
Janelle Togno sees the bags and knows there may be an easy fix.
The average use time of a plastic bag is roughly like 20 minutes, and they don't biodegrade. So I feel like the convenience isn't really worth the cost.
The Colorado Mountain College student is spearheading an initiative as part of her sustainability program studies. She hopes to gain community support for a citywide ban on plastic grocery bags in Glenwood.
I just think it's the right thing to do, policy or not. It's just something we need to start to model to other communities.
Her professors are proud, especially since she's using what she learned here on campus in a real-world way.
Hi, my name is Kimberly Greason. I'm a core faculty at Prescott College. And as Scott and Phil have described, community-based experiential projects are wonderful ways to enact connected learning principles. These student-developed and implemented projects not only encourage students to engage and learn in their communities, but CEVOS also offers students an opportunity to work towards being culturally responsive and sustaining. I utilize CEVO projects in several of my courses. Sustainability education, which is a core course in our doctoral program, and also in food justice, a core course in the Master of Science in Sustainable Food Systems. These projects are opportunities to really connect theory and content that we're learning in the classrooms to this real world application. And it really grounds the learning and experiences for students. So while CEVO projects can be a powerful learning strategy in any course, they can be especially relevant and grounding for justice-focused courses such as food justice. And these projects allow students to connect the justice and the activism that we're learning about. And often these projects might focus on communities that are marginalized by social and environmental injustices. Sometimes these communities will be within the student's broader community, but the student might not necessarily be a part of that particular community. So it's really important for educators to guide students using a culturally responsive approach, and also to encourage students to work with the communities and think about ways to really center the community's needs. Rather than approaching a community or organization with the students' very stringent project ideas, have students really think of it as a collaboration. Educators might ask students to think about ways that scholars and learners can center folks that are marginalized by asking how these projects can benefit. And in some cases, these projects are really about building relationships and making connections. What I think is particularly important for professors and students who are interested and committed in social and environmental justice issues and utilizing community-based experiential project approaches is to be really thoughtful that we aren't causing unintentional harm to already oppressed groups, and to be really mindful of extractive practices, such as taking for our own benefit, for example, for our learning outcomes, where we're coming into communities, doing a project, and then leaving for these learning outcomes. These engagements reinforce critical thinking and can provide students with depth and connection in their communities, but also really importantly is this idea of online courses. And I think this was really reinforced teaching during a global pandemic. It really forced and implementing these projects during a pandemic and in an online classroom really encouraged us to think about what do we define a community as? What does community engagement look like? And it was really exciting to see students approach these projects really creatively.
Hello everyone, my name is Oscar Medina. I'm a PhD student at Prescott College in its Sustainability Education program. Today I'm going to be sharing some work that I did in my Sustainability Theory and Practice in Education course. Specifically, I'm going to be talking about my community-based experiential learning project, which I titled Culturally Responsive and Sustaining Barrio School Garden, a Foodies project. A few issues that I wanted to address with this project were the unsustainable food systems that exist in the barrio that I was working in. As a high school teacher, working and living here in Southern Arizona, specifically on the traditional homelands of the Tohono O'odham, Yaqui, and Yoeme people, I wanted to introduce to students the issues of drought, climate change, the importance of nutrition and health, and the opportunity to reclaim some of the traditional crops and farming techniques that have been used in this region. And so we set out to build an actual garden that would serve the barrio. Barrio is just another cultural affirmation, a term that's used to identify a community or a neighborhood. Here you have students building a trench and installing the drip irrigation. And this all happened on the school garden during our sixth period class. And based on their testimonies, they enjoyed being outdoors. They enjoyed the physical activity that revolved around building an entire garden. And they also appreciated the information that they were receiving that taught them how to capture rainwater, how to appreciate some of the crops, some of the drought tolerant crops that they were also growing. So this was a project that I benefited from, as well as my students. More than anything, I was able to continue the work that I was doing with them, while also being a PhD student and taking a class on sustainability theory and practice.
We have seen a wide range of areas of interest, from curriculum design to introducing climate education advocacy campaigns for diverse audiences. Programs outside of sustainability have also had success employing CBELs, such as the Outdoor Environmental Leadership Master's Program at Prescott, where students have designed social justice initiatives, as well as worked with communities to design climbing walls and after-school programs. More broadly, we've had students investigate traditional ecological knowledge and different ways to be culturally responsive. And as we explore what is community in these dynamic times, we continue to see how these projects have had enduring implications for students and their community. In many cases, these projects evolve into research papers, podcasts, dissertations, or even work opportunities. This was the case for Annie Reifschneider.
Hi, my name is Annie Reifschneider, and I'm in the PhD program at Prescott College. I was 10 years removed from my master's degree and was really wondering how I could make the transition from being somebody who studied things to somebody who researched things. I looked at syllabus and classes that were titled Sustainability Theory and Climate Change, and I was super intimidated. How could I, with my background, really bring my own personality and voice into those classes? The answer, the community-based experiential learning projects. I really was able to do community needs assessments that I had done in Peace Corps, at Boys and Girls Club, and AmeriCorps, and apply them to this community and see what was needed. And for me, that was the creation of the Yavapai County Food Recovery Program. So let's take a quick look at this project. This is for sustainability theory, and we were looking at transportation, energy, water, and food, and how they interacted and interlaced with each other. I wanted to look at food waste because I found this amazing statistics that 40% of food is wasted and 46% of the population is food insecure. And a light bulb kind of went off in my head. I was part of the problem. Our AmeriCorps members themselves, who earn around $1,000 a month, were food insecure. So we partnered with a local food bank and established a food recovery program right here in our offices, where our AmeriCorps members could claim items that would normally go to waste from the food bank. We targeted 20 of our members, including Patty there on the right, and distributed nearly 800 pounds of food. The project has since evolved 2 years later. We have now expanded into our Arizona Tucson office, as well as making it more community-facing, both for community members and Prescott College students here on campus. We even have partnered with a local chicken farmer to reduce our own food waste that is created with the program, keeping things out of the compost pile. In total, in 2 years in both regions, 5,000 pounds of food is now in the hands of our AmeriCorps members, and it is now a task that is written into staff position descriptions. So it's safe to say this project has evolved from a spark that was ignited by a quick community needs assessment into something that will long last my own role in this project. For me, as a student, it really showed me how to become a researcher. And as an educator and teacher, I now see through my own experiences how to impact and teach my own students.
As college professors, CBELs have become embedded in all the courses that we teach, spanning several disciplines. While we found success in traditional classroom settings, CBELs seem to be particularly viable for the online platform by reducing the disconnect many adult online learners have experienced. But regardless of the platform, we hope that these insights have been inspiring and embrace the opportunity to see how you might find a place for CBELs in your programming. And on behalf of my colleagues and I, we thank you for your time.